Hello and welcome to the program. My guests are from a campaign that is tracking and monitoring the coalition government's campaign promises and has enshrined in the National Development Plan, including all other promises that were made during the campaign period. I am Answana Iso Nyasi, and with me I have the project manager and coordinator of all outreach programs under the project. But I'll let them introduce themselves and tell us what their project is about. Gentlemen, first, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Iso.
Let me begin with you. Can you kindly introduce yourself?
I'm Barrow. I'm the project manager for the Barrow.
And I have another gentleman with me.
I'm Killer Ace. I'm Ali Chang, commonly known as Killer Ace, and I'm outreach coordinator for the Barrow project.
Indeed, as you've heard it, Babu Garcise and Ali Cham, who goes by his stage name Killer Ace, he's an artist and activist as well. He's a popular figure, of course, and Babu Garcise is the project manager. Let me begin with you, Mr. Sise. Can you give us an overview of the Barometer project? Why Barometer and what is it about?
Firstly, Mr. Nyasi, we started this Barometer because we're trying to move away from what we've experienced over the past 22 years. We've seen that during the time we had a dictatorial regime, governments were mainly misled and misinformed about information. There were no proper accountability measures, and now since we've decided to vote for change, now we as young people came together to set up a platform where we can track the promises of the government that we have made during the time of their campaign, as well as all the budgetary allocations made to the ministries at the end of every year. That way we try to ensure accountability measures and also other things in place that disallow misuse of public funds, and thus the Barometer.
When one hears the name Barometer, people like me might associate it with the head of state, and but who exactly is behind the project?
Well, the Barometer. Well, if you associate it with the head of state, you are right. It is associated with the head of state, but not in a way that people may think. We're not associated as per se it is a movement or a project funded by the government or for the government. It is something that was set up by young people who are from the Gambia YMCA, Computer Training Center and Digital Studio, working with partnership with our partners, Team Gomsaboba, who are doing all our outreach programs here. And if you check carefully, the Barometer is made up of young people, young professionals who are professionals in other fields in the Gambia, but they've put that aside and come together to achieve this one goal of keeping our government in check and keeping track of the promises that we made.
I'll come back to you, but let me now engage Kira Ace, who is the president of Team Gomsaboba. Your movement is a very key partner as far as this project is concerned, and you're also coordinating all outreach programs. Take us through your outreach programs. What's the format, and how do you go about your outreach programs?
Well, basically, the overall objective of the outreach programs is to directly reach the grassroots masses, who are predominantly the largest numbers as far as the electorate is concerned. And we realized that information has been a problem in the Gambia. For more than 22 years, there has been an information blackout, only one radio station, only one TV, etc., etc. And that led to a lot of people being misinformed, not just in the rural, but also in the urban areas. And not also in the urban, but also in the rural areas rather. And we found the need that we have to come up with a strategy to meet these people directly, whether it's the lady that is selling kobo at the market, or whether it's the businessman in a suit in his office. We realized that we have to come up with a strategy to reach all of these people who are part of the Gambian population and who have a right and a say-so in the way that the country is being managed. And in order to have that, it starts off with raising the awareness levels of the masses, which means that we go meet them where they're at. We meet the people at the campaigns, we meet them at the markets, we meet them at their homes, and enlighten them on what is actually why we are citizens and why we are called citizens. And we have different strategies. One of our main outreach strategies is the door-to-door sensitization, as we've done in Banjul, where we go to different areas, targeted areas, to engage with these people within that locality. When we went to Banjul, we went to the market, as we had advocacy material, which included brochures which had information on the barometer and the promises that the government made. And we would break it down to those particular people that we meet and let them know that this is what has been promised in the areas of health, in the areas of youth, and etc., etc. And people voted, but a lot of people voted based on a particular campaign promise. Example, if the president came to telling for a corner where we have bad roads, and he promised us that we're going to have a good road, majority of the people who are telling for the corner would vote for him based on that road promise. So, but after a year or two, it's up to the citizens to make sure that they confirm whether that road is being implemented, whether it has already been implemented, and if so, how far is it with it? And they have to know the right channels for them to know. They have to know the process in which they can use for them to understand what those promises are and how they can keep those promises in check. So that's one strategy. We also have a different type of campaigns that we do, which is the media campaigns. We're having radio tours on different radio stations, and we're having videos that we're doing. And in addition to the website that is the responsibility of Y+, we also link those people that are on the ground to the website and let them know that the website has all of the information that you need, from the budgets, and there's even a particular segment or a section on the website which is called the Citizen Scoreboard. And we encourage the citizens to go there because that's where they can show or state their opinions on how the state is going. So the Citizen Scoreboard is something that the followers really are interested in, as it is a wasahala mentality that the Gambians have been yearning for. Now in Banjul, which is where we did our first outreach, the strategies that we used, which was very effective, was that we had a road show strategy where we had music and we had a truck with nothing but energetic young people who were ready to distribute the material whilst the music was playing, attracting onlookers, making our message heard loud and clear. And we just don't engage with ordinary citizens, but we also engage with the national members of parliament, with mayoral aspiring political leaders, and even those that are already in position, as they are part of the process.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chan. Sise, he mentioned the website, which I believe is one of the platforms that you will have, where you engage with the citizen. What other platforms do you have, and what can one find on your website?
Thank you so much. Well, we have many platforms on social media, as I said earlier, and as he expanded. On our website, we have different pages and different things on the website. For instance, we have the manifesto, and then the manifesto on the Barometer website has color coding. That is to say, very important points in the manifesto have been highlighted in colors, in red and blue, to show you the priorities of the government as well. We also have the NDP on the website, we have the budget on the website, we have the constitution on the website as well. And on the website, we have the promises page, where if you go into the promises page, you can see all the promises made by the government during the time of their campaign, and also all the sections of promises. We have education, reformation, democracy, human rights, many others. We've been able to filter about 62 promises and divide them into different sections. And on the promises page, you see all the achieved promises and the unfulfilled promises in a pie chart. So far, they've been only able to achieve about nine promises, and that's about 13.8%. And you will see this as a round figure, like in the pie chart, it will show the percentage and what's not done. And if you click on a section, it will also show you how many promises in that section has been fulfilled and how many has not been fulfilled. And on the scorecard, where he talked on it earlier, we have the citizen scorecard where you can go and rate your government between 1 star to 5 star, and also state your opinion about current affairs as well. So those are some of the things you can find on our website and our platforms as well.
It seems most of your work is online. How do you reach out to the ordinary people as well, those that cannot read and write?
Yeah, well, we did identify that problem prior to our launch, and in solving that, that's when we saw the necessity to partner with an organization organizations like Team From Support that are very outspoken and community grassroots oriented. So our approach is grassroots engagement, citizenship grassroots engagement, where our sole targets are the grassroots citizens, those that are way down there at the bottom of the pyramid. Those are the ones we hope to enlighten about the barometer. We want governments to know that this barometer is for everyone. And in reaching out to them, we organize our outreach programs, as he explained, like the one we had in Banjul, where we went from door to door, meeting people. We didn't talk to you based on your age or your gender or your ethnicity or your political affiliation. We just talk to you as a Gambian or as a resident of the Gambia, that you must know that these things are here for you and that you have to make use of platforms like the barometer to keep your government in check.
Absolutely.
What is the duration of this project?
Well, the project is 1 year long. It's ending in December. We started in January and we're ending in December. But we hope to go beyond December and hopefully beyond Barrow's term as well.
Mr. Cham, you've had one outreach program so far, and that is in Banjul. Do you have plans to go to other regions as well?
Yes, absolutely. We plan to, reach the entire Gambia, as Gambia is not the urban area or just KMC alone, but it all goes up to Basse, to the villages, to these people who are disconnected from the information that they actually deserve. That's why we go in there to meet them, as not everybody is online, not everybody reads newspaper, not everybody in the rural area has access to good transmission to listen to radios. So we cannot exclude them as they are part of the citizenry. And in ways and strategies that we figured is that we meet them directly in their farms, we meet them in their villages, we meet the VDCs, we meet the alcalos, we meet the youth, we meet the schools, and meet them directly wherever they are, no matter what condition may be within that particular region. It is our duty to make sure that we meet those people and give them the necessary information and make sure that they can eventually, in the long run, as it is a process, it doesn't take one day, eventually they can become informed citizens who will have the information that will be enough for them to keep their government in check.
Given that you are handling a very sensitive part of the project, which is having to deal with people during your outreach programs, do you find yourself being confused as an opposition-driven initiative, or do you also find yourself sometimes being seen as an initiative of the head of state or of the current government? And what other challenges do you face during your outreach programs?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We do face the problem of being like an anti-government structure, as we're not used to having that 100% democracy where we can test our leaders. We come from a society where leaders are worshipped, and there's this famous saying in Wolof that Yalla ko fi tek, like God put him there. And we still have that notion. It's unfortunate. So you have people who are partisan, who believe that we are here to oppose the government. As based off of experience in Banjul, we've met a few people like that. But once they listen, the worst person is somebody who objects to your idea and doesn't want to listen to it. But luckily, everybody wants to listen, no matter how much or how much they feel like it is opposition. So once the people listen and we break down to them what it's about, then we found it that we do convince them. But sometimes, what they say, the first impression is that these guys are here to, become oppositions of the government. But that's why it's our duty as outreach partners to be strong and understand that we're dealing with all walks of life, and we have to maintain our ground and be as strategic as we can, as you have different elements of people in society. You have people who don't care about anything, and we have to stoop down to their level in order to give them that information. So it is a tough challenge, which we can't blame our people. We must blame 22 years of dictatorship, which led to 22 years of ignorance, which is not our fault. And hopefully with initiatives like the Barometer and other initiatives, we can enlighten the population who have been affected by that ignorance.
And just to add a little bit onto what Ali said, in Banjul, based on what I've read from the report, it wasn't only that people mistook the perception of the Barometer that we are pro-government or anti-government. Some people thought that we're doing this solely to be recognized, for us to to be known.
Yeah.
Yes, Babukar is doing this. He is the barometer. He wants to be known. But as I said earlier, we're all professionals in different fields. But we are doing this solely because of the passion we have, solely because of the love we have for the country, and what we want to see our country achieve, and where we see our country being in the future. That's the sole reason why we're doing this. That's the only reason why we're doing this. It's not for us, but for the generations to come.
Absolutely.
For our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren.
Now, in terms of access to information, since you're tracking and monitoring the government, are you also reaching out to them?
Yes. We have been reaching out to them. And not too long ago, we sent a letter requesting for an interview with the president, but unfortunately, it was turned down. The interview was meant to shed more light on the promises, the works being done towards achieving the promises, his challenges, his achievements so far, and just what is his vision. Just his vision. What does he think he will achieve in the next 1.5 years per se? Because the manifesto initially stated that he'll be sitting for a 3-year term, for a 3-year term, and then he'll be open to re-election for another 2 years. So then we wanted to know what does he think he can achieve within that 3 years, whether does he think the 3 years is enough, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, we couldn't be granted the interview at that time. So we've written other letters to other ministries such as the Ministry of Information, Agriculture and Finance, asking them the same question, but we're yet to receive any response from them. And in getting access to information as well, we've hired 2 journalists whose sole responsibility is to provide content on the happenings of the Gambia related to the promises, not related to the promise, because we also want to be a platform for breaking news.
Let me come back to you now, Ace.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues surrounding young people and women.
Yeah.
And we know if you look at the Gambian population, a greater chunk of the population, consists of women and young people. Are you people also into youth and women empowerment issues? Because when you talk about women in politics, youth in politics,
Yeah.
you realize there's a very big gap.
Absolutely.
Are you also considering these things as far as your outreach programs are concerned?
Yes.
Is it part of the project?
It's very part of the project, and that's one of our key target audience. Because if you look in the promises, there's at least 60 promises. So the youth sector and the promises made under the youth category is one of the priorities as highlighted. And we realize that the youth are the ones with the energy. The youth are the ones who are going to take over this country. The youth are the ones who are currently embarking the back way, are the ones who are unemployed, and are the frustrated ones as it is perceived. So they should be our priority, just like how it should be a priority from the government as they promise the youth, to empower them. They promise the youth jobs. They promise to curb the backway syndrome. They promised a lot of things. I remember I was reading an old newspaper from 2016 from the point, and the headline was Barrow stated that the youth will be his priority. So that is something that we highlighted on our advocacy material, which is in the youth area. And the youth are the energetic people. Because if you remember clearly, when Barrow was campaigning for president, it was the youth, the fearless youth, that were campaigning behind him. They were even part of his escort. Some nearly took a bullet for him, as it was at a time when Jammeh would do anything to eliminate him. So those same youth have to be informed, and they have to be reminded. You remember when you was following Barrow based on the promises that he made, that he would give you a job. Is that promise being fulfilled or not? And that would be an eye-opener to all of the youth who are out there, as we really need the youth on the side of the civic awareness, as they are the key target.
Just a little bit of addition to what he said. Our work also seeks to promote inclusive political participation in young people, as well as civic education. On our outreaches, we also inculcate civic education. Knowing your basic rights, the electoral laws of the country as well within our programs. And we intend to have capacity building workshops, especially for urban youth, as they are the ones who mostly don't participate in the electoral process. It is very, very important when it comes to choosing who will lead you. And we need to make them understand the importance of them voting and the effect their voting has on our nation, and how it also affects them. directly or indirectly.
I'll come back to you to give us your final remarks, but before I go to Ali quickly, can you remind us of the domain names to the different platforms that you people have?
Yes, before I'll say that, I would like to say to our viewers here, this project is funded by the Open Society Initiative for West Africa. They have been supporting works like this that promote democracy and inclusive growth all over West Africa. They funded the Macky meter in Senegal, the Buhari meter in Nigeria, and also the Press meter in Burkina Faso. Well, to reach the Barrow meter, you can go online on our website www.barrow-meter.org. On Facebook, we are at Barrow-meter, on Twitter at Barrow-meter1, and on YouTube, Barrow-meter. And we also have an app that has been developed. It's currently undergoing verification issues on both Google and Apple stores, and it will soon be downloadable on both stores for everyone to use.
I'm afraid we'll have to leave it at that, but let me come to Ace to also give us his final remarks.
Yes, I also forgot to mention, as part of our outreach programs, we also have workshops. We organize workshops. We organize town hall meetings, so that we can engage the people and the authorities, and put them under one umbrella as, part of the outreach strategies that we have. And apart from that, I believe that let the whole country get ready for us. We're coming to every region, and make sure that you follow us. You like the pages. If there's any question, feel free to send a message or or contact us on the website, and we'll be more than happy to engage with the people. And we are also as outreach partners, we're also looking for partners, youth partners within different regions. As once we come to every region or any territory that we go to, we would like to engage with the people who are there to make it more effective. Thank you, everyone.
Cesar, final remarks?
Well, I would just like to urge everyone, every Gambian, to take ownership of the barometer. Know that such platforms is here for you. It's for you to hold your government in check. It's not for you to be against your government. It's for you to give constructive criticism against the current affairs or the ways the government are doing things. Yeah. Go on the barometer, rate your government, look at the promises, know what has been promised to you, and know your rights and current affairs of your state. Again, we are on www.barrow-meter.org, on Facebook, Barrow-meter, on Twitter at Barrow-meter1, and on YouTube, Barrow-meter. So you can search for us online, just type barometer, and you will pop up on Google or any search engine you searches.
Well, I'm afraid it's all we've got time for. Thank you very much for being there with us. And they were our guests on this program from the Barometer Project, Bob Garcia, the project manager, and Ali Cham, commonly known as Killer Ace, coordinator of all outreach programs under the project, and he also serves as president of Team Gomsababa, which is a partner to the project. Until then, I was your host, Antoine Sonyasi, and thanks to the entire production team. Thank you for being there.